What's going on, everybody? You're listening to Mixed Reaction, the best podcast nobody listens to. It's myself, Ian Blackwell, along with my faithful and hilarious co-hosts, Justin Duncan and Casey. How are you doing today, Justin?
Doing all right. Trying to get over this chest cold, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, no, I hopefully it's not AIDS. How you doing
Oof.
today, Casey?
Well, I don't have AIDS.
Me either. Me either. You know who might have AIDS? The Florida State Seminoles, and that's what we're going to talk about. So, as I'm sure you all are aware, the final playoff rankings came out, which put the four teams into the playoffs. We're going to have number 1 seed Michigan. Well, we'll just go through the top 4. We have number 1 Michigan. We all fucking knew that was going to happen. They shut
Absolutely.
Iowa out in the Big 10
Absolutely, we knew
championship.
that was happening. Giddy.
Washington, a team that Justin and I have both been very skeptical of all year, they made it number 2. Texas.
I just want to throw this out there. You guys have been skeptical. I've been high on Washington all year.
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
That's fair. I think that one's gonna be a good one. Number 3, we have Texas. Only blemish they have on their record is the loss
Oklahoma.
against Oklahoma, the Red River Shootout. I was so fucking bad during that game. I had a friend over and I had a bet on the game and he scored the winning touchdown. She's like, look how happy they don't fucking talk to me when I just lost my fucking money. Like that shit pissed me off to no fucking end. And then number 4, we have
Roll
the
Tide.
fucking course we have the Alabama Crimson Tide, it
The
seems
roll
like every
tide.
year.
Rolling.
The first team we have left out is the Florida State Seminoles, finished 13-0. Obviously lost Jordan Travis a few weeks ago. Won some nail biters down the stretch at Florida in the conference championship against Louisville. Then we have Georgia, number 6. So I'll go ahead and start it off with Casey. Do you think the committee got it right? And if not, what qualms do you have with it? I think that's a word.
Okay, so did the committee get it right as far as the most deserving teams? No. Did the committee get it right for showing us what the 4 actual best teams are? Yes. You could argue Georgia deserves to be in there. I mean, that's an absolutely argument that I will listen to. As where Florida State lost their starting quarterback, I don't want to watch Florida State get blown out by either Texas or Washington. Because they wouldn't have been the 4th seed at 13-0, but Michigan was definitely going to be the 1 seed.
No, I think they would have been 4. And they would have got smashed by Michigan. I mean, I don't see them getting in
fair.
above,
Let's say that, Ian.
Yeah.
Let's say
the
that.
The committee did not want a redo of TCU. That's what they didn't want.
Exactly.
Right. Very good point.
So let me continue on with my point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was Florida State deserving of it? Yes, absolutely. They're a Power 5 conference. They went 13-0, won their conference championship. They are a deserving team to be in there. But as a fan of college football, I don't want to watch them get blown out by 40 to Michigan. What kind of game is that? This is supposed to be the college football playoffs. That's supposed to be the most entertaining games of the season. These 3 games that we're going to witness between the 1 and the 4 seed, the 2 and 3 seed, then the national championship game are supposed to be the most entertaining, most fun games we watch all season. Is that correct? Yes or no?
It is supposed to be, but I will argue that the Texas-Washington game is not going to be very fun to watch.
I mean, but to Casey,
I think it's gonna be. Let's put it like this, though. I think, and I don't want you guys thinking
I think that's gonna be a better game, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a better game. I think this is what's gonna happen, and I think this is very non-controversial. I think this is a safe pick, and I'm sorry that I have to say a safe pick. I think the winner of Michigan Alabama is gonna take the whole thing.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think Alabama would lose to Texas again. I think Michigan would romp Washington, even though I've been high on Washington all year, and I think Michigan could beat Texas. I think Alabama would roll Texas the second time. Nick Saban ain't losing the same team twice in a year. That's just not happening. And I think they would beat Washington. So I think the winner of Michigan, Alabama is going to take the title. So from a fan's perspective, as a non-biased fan's perspective, because I'm not a fan of Florida State, I truly believe they got the selection right.
The selection was right in terms of who are the best 4 teams. Absolutely agree. But my only real beef, as it were, is, and I don't think it's been confirmed. And correct me if I'm wrong that it has been said. Did the committee make their decision because Jordan Travis is out? Is that the
Yes.
reason?
I mean, that's never going to be confirmed, but yes, of course, that's why they made the reason.
Which I feel is a really shitty way to leave Florida State out. Now, I agree, Florida State wouldn't get blown off the field by Michigan. I don't think it's even, that's without a shred of a doubt. I don't think Florida State would probably put 10 points on Michigan. But you can't help but feel for that team and that group of guys.
Of course,
laid everything out, ran the table, that their schedule. It's not their fault that their schedule, the way that their schedule laid out in terms of, I mean, Alabama had to beat Georgia to get in. That's the only way Alabama got in. Because you could argue that Florida State, if they had still been undefeated and Alabama had lost the SEC championship, that Texas would have been on the outside looking in. You could make the argument.
No. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's back up. I want to make sure I can clarify what you're saying.
Sure.
Are you saying that if Georgia had beaten Alabama, that you could make the case that Texas would be out opposed to Alabama?
No, I would say that Georgia would still be in.
Okay.
Washington would still be in, so would Michigan, but Florida State would have jumped Texas and Alabama. If
ahead. Jordan Travis wasn't hurt.
Maybe.
And Georgia won. Yes. No, that I agree with. Texas would have been left out. The reason, because it would have been 4 undefeated teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I agree with 100%.
Now, what I was,
Yeah, no, you're good.
Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead.
Sorry, I apologize. So what I was going to say is I just wanted to say that Justin, I think, now, before I get into my take on it, I think Justin hit the nail on the head. We don't want another fucking 63-8 national championship game. Now, when I was, doing my research on it, just a little off topic, Condoleezza Rice was on the college football playoff committee until 2017. So that's just a little fun fact. Yeah. But I think that earlier this week, and I've been trying to find the quote because on one of the podcasts I listened to, it was either the Late Kick with Josh Pate or On 3 with, I can't think of the fucking guy's name, but they were pretty much saying that the committee had come out and said, in not so many words, just to kind of, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. She learned now. But what I was going to say was they essentially came out and said, we don't care about the most deserving. We want the best 4 teams in the playoff. And I'm with Casey. Like, they would get fucking steamrolled. I think we can all agree they would get fucking without Jordan Travis by any of the teams
steamrolled, absolutely,
in the playoffs. Yes, but
absolutely.
If we're talking about a 13-0 conference champion, I don't think it's too crazy to leave them out, man. I mean, because you can't leave. Like, granted, Texas beat Alabama in week 2. That's a way different Alabama team than we have now, but it was still in Tuscaloosa, and they still won by double digits. You can't, and the committee loves them some Alabama because they know that everybody.
Hold on. They love them some SEC. It's not just Bama. They love them some SEC.
The SEC. It's not just Alabama, because even if, you could have made the argument that Georgia still should have been able to get in, even with losing the SEC championship.
Now, Ian, here's almost why, and this is exactly what I was saying a couple seconds ago. I want to ask you, because I truly believe if Texas and Alabama play again, I think Alabama rolls them. And I mean rolls.
On a neutral field, yeah. Even on a neutral field.
3-score win.
I don't know. I mean, they're peaking at the right time. Wait, did you have a question? Because I know you said I wanted to ask you.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you. Like, is that what you feel for Alabama? Because a lot of people are saying Alabama still doesn't even deserve to be in.
I mean, if you look at Alabama just to answer your question before I get a little bit more in depth, I don't know if Texas is going to be, because granted, Texas has looked shitty at times. They let Wyoming hang with them. You know, they lost to Oklahoma, who still finished with, I think, 10 wins, but, you know, it looks a lot worse considering Oklahoma looked downright pathetic at certain points this year. They lost to Kansas. They lost the rivalry game to Oklahoma State. They lost one more as well. I can't really remember who they lost to, but I mean, the Texas game, Quinn Ewers is a stud, man, and that they destroyed Oklahoma State. They were efficient on offense. They were scoring quick. They were all over the place. So I don't really know how that would go. I honestly, if I'm thinking logically, I think, and I was saying Texas earlier in the week, man. Like if they play again, Texas is gonna win, but I think Alabama, man, like they're peaking at the right time. They have the more experienced coach. Saban has what, like 7 national championships at Bama. Their defense is more like the defenses at the beginning of this dynasty than it was when they were, excuse me, in the Justin Cover Your Ears, Mac Jones and Devontae Smith days when they were just scoring, you know, tons of points. But now, as far as if I think they got it right, yeah, I do, because Michigan, I had somebody the other day. Let me just pause this real quick. Somebody I work with. They said Michigan does not deserve to be in because they didn't play anybody. And I was like, I completely disagree. I mean, granted, they beat number 2 Ohio State. They can't help their conference
They beat
schedule.
Ohio State and Penn State.
And they didn't know how bad. They didn't know that Notre Dame was going to have a shitty year. Like, they went into Notre Dame and won the fucking game. I mean, it's not like they scheduled like Georgia playing fucking Tennessee Tech every other week. Like, they beat the piss out of everybody. The only 2 games they didn't win by double figures or by 2 possessions was against Maryland and against Ohio State. Every other game they won by 2 possessions. So they're a lock, whatever. Washington, like I said in the group chat, Justin and I, we've been kind of, going, like, I mean, because they look shitty against Arizona State, who's fucking not good. They looked, Washington State played them right down to the wire. One of the ballsiest fucking play calls I've ever seen in the Apple Cup. To win that game. And they beat Oregon twice. And Oregon, after the first Washington loss, granted they outgained Washington the first time, Oregon was fucking steamrolling people too. Oregon beat Oregon State like 57-7. Granted, Oregon State's been kind of especially more towards the middle to the end of the year, but they beat the fucking piss out of them. And then you got Texas number 3. Like, I mean, they beat Alabama early. You can't just put Alabama in. I think that sets a really bad precedent if you put Alabama in and then you're like, sorry, you're just not good. You don't have the body of work because they beat them. Granted, it was a different Alabama team in week 2, but they still beat them. And then Alabama, they beat Georgia. Like, I think they got it right, man. It's just Florida State. They just didn't.
If it weren't for the fact that the ACC is so weak comparatively, because since Trevor Lawrence, and we need to talk about him later on in the show.
Oh yeah.
Since he's left Clemson, Dabo doesn't have the stranglehold of the ACC like he did.
Not at all.
And the ACC, I mean, Florida State, in terms of because their team is built to run tables. They need to get out of the ACC because year after year, this is what's going to end up happening to them. They'll run the table because their conference sucks, and it's a Power 5 conference by reputation, but it won't be a Power 5 conference based on actual strength of team.
Mm-hmm. Now, Florida State, they did beat. Here's their 3 ranked wins. LSU was number 5 at the time. We've obviously seen them kind of be a little up and down. They still finished 9-3, but they didn't, that was a top 10 matchup when they played. They beat the piss out of Southern Miss 66-13. They went into Boston College and won by 2. They went into Clemson, won by 7 in overtime. Cash my parlay. I was pretty happy about that. But Clemson, they did kind of get rolling towards the end of the year, but they still finished 8-4. Like, it's not like Justin was saying, the team that's had a stranglehold on the ACC for years. They beat the piss out of Virginia Tech. They beat the piss out of Syracuse. Beat Duke by 18. I mean, Duke. Earlier in the year, I think we thought it would be a lot better.
I will be impressed by Florida State going into Boston College and winning a sporting event is if they do it on ice. That would be impressive.
Or if Doug Flutie decides to go back in time and
Yeah,
But-
no kidding. Let's not sit here and act like Boston College football is some powerhouse. I mean, have they even had an NFL player since Matt Ryan? I mean, of course they have, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
What I'm sitting here saying is Boston College is not an impressive victory. Duke, you could argue Duke because they sometimes sit at the bottom of the top 25 is an
They
impressive
finished
victory.
7-5, so
LSU and Louisville are really one of their top 2 wins, really.
Exactly. I'm not upset whatsoever that Florida State did not get in. I would be upset if I was a Florida State fan, and I grant them their frustration. I grant them their anger.
yeah.
I get it. But this is not the committee for, who's the most deserving? No, this is the committee for let's make these games the best possible matchup that we can make them. And I believe that's what they did. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm happy that it's the best 4 teams.
I see what you're saying, like, like most deserving, like, yeah, let's just all throw a fucking not a pity party, but participation trophies because we feel like we deserve it because we didn't lose. Like, I personally think I agree with the most deserving getting in. I think Alabama was more deserving than Florida State, though.
So
I mean,
we're leaving out one crucial element here. Did Georgia deserve to get in still?
But the thing is with Georgia, I don't know. But before I answer that, who would they replace, in your opinion? Like, they're not Texas, I guess.
It would have to be Texas that they replaced. But if they did that, I think the only reason Texas got in and Georgia didn't is because then the committee would fully have to admit that regular season games don't matter.
Yep.
Because then Texas would be out, who would beaten Alabama, who's in with Texas having a better record. At that point, the committee would have to say the regular season does not matter.
And all they care about is teams and reputation.
Because we've been sitting here preaching now for the last 15 minutes that the best 4 teams are in. That's technically not true. Georgia's absolutely one of the 4 best teams in college football.
Yeah.
Did they lose to Alabama? Absolutely, they sure did. But they won 29 straight games before that. If any team deserved to be in that wasn't a conference champion, it's Georgia.
I agree.
Yeah, I would because let's see, because the 4 teams we got in, yeah, they're all conference champion. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, shit, Georgia has a hell of a fucking resume. They went to Kentucky, beat the piss out of them. They beat the fucking shit out of Ole Miss. I was dead wrong on that one. What were you gonna say, Justin?
So I was gonna say if the college football playoff if we didn't have it yet, we still had the BCS, you'd have a situation where Florida State's gonna file a suit to be a claim of the national championship, a la USC did way back when.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any dispute about that. And so I think the committee did the best they could with the teams they had available. Once Alabama went in,
It was
even though I don't know if it made it easy, but they knew they could only pick one of the 2 SEC teams. And I think they went the easy way out and put in the conference champion. Because if they put in Georgia, because there's no way they could have put in Georgia over Alabama for Georgia winning for Alabama winning the SEC title. So what would they have done then? I think, Ian, you make a solid point that it probably would have had to have been Texas. And then at that point, it would really truly show that the regular season games don't matter, which I already think that they don't in the end when it comes down to the top 4. So that at that point, you lose so much of your interest in the regular season for college football. So I think they made the right call not putting Georgia in. However, have we seen Georgia's bowl matchup yet? Who are they matching up against?
Florida State.
Florida State. They're gonna
serious?
Beat the dog shit out of Florida State.
Florida State and Georgia are 5 and 6 respectively.
Pummel them.
What game is it? The not the
Orange
Sugar
Bowl.
Bowl, because that's
The Orange Bowl.
Okay.
Orange Bowl. Yeah. They are gonna absolutely pummel them.
And they're mad too.
Yeah, that game's gonna be an annihilation. That's gonna be a good old fashioned ass whooping.
So all this playoff talk is making my head hurt. What do you say we talk about the Patriots who didn't score a fucking point?
I would just like to point out, I said this in our chat, Maine Hockey scored more points in Sunday's win over UConn than the Chargers and Patriots combined. Also, Justin, your Patriots became the first team in NFL history in over 3-game span, not allowing more than 10 points and losing all 3 games.
The defense is
Wait, are
not
you
the problem.
serious?
The defense is not the problem.
They've allowed no more. Yes, Ian, I'm serious. They've allowed no more than 10 points 3 games in a row and lost all 3.
Take it away, Justin. Just take it away.
There's nothing to say. The defense is not the problem.
No, your defense is great.
The defense is elite.
Holy
And
shit.
they're still they're down their 2 best players. The defense is solid. But there's no offense. None.
It's pathetic.
I think
How bad
I
this
mean,
Patriots
I
team is.
normally like to say you have a new offensive coordinator, give him a year or so
No.
or more to settle in. No. You needed a clean house. Clean
He
house.
hasn't scored 1 touchdown in 3 weeks.
Just
That's
clean
how
the house.
anemic this offense is. That's how lack of weapons that they have at their disposal. This is exactly what I've been saying about the Patriots for years now.
And Stevenson just went down with an ankle injury.
Yeah, so Zeke's going to be your bell cow now. Fine. It's not going to change anything.
Nope.
Like, it's not going to make the offense any worse. It can't.
Well,
Nothing can look worse than this offense. The only thing that can save this offense at this point in time, and it wouldn't even save it, just see what you got. Throw in Malik Cunningham.
Yep.
Let him try. Do something different. I'm not even a Patriots fan.
They have
nothing to
absolutely
lose.
nothing to lose.
I'm not a Patriots fan, and it's so absolutely mind-boggling how anemic and atrocious this offense is. It's pathetic.
Here, I saw something the other day, and this is another Patriots fan that I know of who suggested this. So in the draft, right now the Patriots are sliding to the number 2 pick because Carolina sucks even worse. But if they don't take Caleb Williams or Drake May at quarterback, which I think would be I think you'd be a fool not to if you have the opportunity. Consider what you have right now. But why not take Marvin Harrison Jr. and then in the second round take J.J. McCarthy from Michigan?
He looked good against Ohio State. He's starting to make some throws across his body.
I mean, you've already done well with one Michigan quarterback.
Look, I'm going to say this, though. If McCarthy keeps playing up to this level, he's improving his game every week. Some of the throws that he was making against Iowa were NFL caliber, elite ball placement throws. If he does this and if he balls out against Alabama and he balls out in the national championship game, I don't think he's going to be available in the second round, Justin.
Trade up.
You might have to.
You like J.J. McCarthy that much, huh? I thought you were a big Drake May guy.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm a bigger Marvin Harrison Jr. guy.
Me too. I love him. He's a fucking beast, bro.
That solves half your problem. You have a bona fide, ready to week 1, number 1 in Marvin Harrison Jr., and you have a solid J.J. McCarthy. NFL, if not completely NFL ready to at least get in.
I mean, he wouldn't be worse than anything you got right now.
An upgrade over Mac and Zappy. Now,
By
Zappy
far.
Better than Mac? That's hard to say.
No. No, you can't say you look better than anybody when you get shut out.
No. I mean, I'm saying in terms of the throws he was making, they were better than what Mac was doing when he was just airbailing everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Like, I get where you're coming from. That's fair.
I'm not saying he's better because
they both suck.
Exactly, they both suck. But you put J.J. McCarthy and Marvin Harrison Jr. on that team with presumably if they re-sign Zeke, you have Stevenson for at least another year. You've got Kendrick Bourne coming back potentially because the word is he wants to stick around. Then you can work with the offensive line to patch that up, and you don't have to worry about the defense. The defense is fine.
Look, if you get Marvin Harrison Jr., you still need more. You could get
I'm not
Marvin Harrison
I'm
Jr.
not saying
and
that fixes
JJ McCarthy. I'll put it to you like this, Justin. You could get Marvin Harrison Jr. and JJ McCarthy, right?
Yep.
If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy for the Jets next season, you're still the 4th-ranked team in your own division next year, behind Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets.
I'd say the third.
No, absolutely not. Who would you be better than?
The Bills are tumbling. The Bills are falling apart.
This year, sure, but they may regroup. They may get rid of Sean McDermott and bring in a new coach who fixes the ship.
We'll see.
You could, I disagree, but you could make an argument for Buffalo, I suppose, because of how wishy-washy they've been this year.
Because I think Stephon Diggs,
like I said, I'd still put Buffalo ahead of him.
Gone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Diggs is going to go to Dallas. That's where he wants to go. He wants to play with Trayvon, which I don't even know if I want that, because then how does that wide receiver room go?
See, like what the heck is this going to happen here?
That's what I'm saying, because CD has solidified himself as a bona fide receiver and in inarguable top 10 in a debatable top 5.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, right now, as far as Pro Football Focus, they have JJ McCarthy number 8. They're saying Carson Beck from Georgia is going to be one of those studs. He's going to be a star. They have Shedeur ranked above McCarthy. I like Shedeur. I just think there's a few more question marks around him. I mean, honestly, I was thinking McCarthy was one of those made for college quarterbacks, but he's proven me wrong. Like, he's fucking.
Yeah, no, he looks NFL ready.
Yeah, I mean, it says here he can hit the Sunday throws with both distance and velocity for Pro Football Focus, and
he can move. His touch. He's not a statue in the pocket.
Exactly.
Bill is fine with that.
Well, yeah, Bill would be fine with him being a statue.
Bill's gonna be gone.
Bill would be fine if he can hit a 5-yard slant route as long as he hits him in the hands.
Bill's gone.
But I don't even think it's gonna matter, because I think Bill's gonna be gone.
I think so too. I just don't see how much longer they let the losing go on. And I mean, I don't know if I like, because the Patriots, man, like, I mean, that was like when I started watching football. I know they made 2 Super Bowls before that. To me, they're one of the teams now. I think it's the Cowboys and the Patriots. I might be missing 1 or 2. If they're good, it's good for football. People are gonna watch the Patriots play. Like, they want to see them lose, but they're going to watch the Patriots. And the fans, they're a lot more restless than they would have been before. I mean, considering they have fucking 6 rings now. Like, they have very high standards in New England. I think Bill leaves as well.
There's a few certain teams in the NFL. It's like with every sport. There are a few teams that when they're good, the sport's better. In baseball, you got the Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Cubs. In the NFL, of course, you have the Cowboys, the Steelers, the Packers, the Giants, the Raiders, those, and the Patriots too. NBA,
Giants is more by default because that's just New York, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but and then NBA, you got the Celtics, the Lakers, the Knicks. That's probably about it that it really matters. Maybe the Heat. I guess you could argue the Heat. In the 90s, obviously the Bulls, but they've only had that one run, so I don't think they really count in that aspect. Yeah, so there are teams in every sport that if they are good, the sport is better. However, the way New England just seems like unable to rebuild, I got a question mark as to how long that this drought is going to last for. I'm not saying it's going to last as long as their dynasty did, because that was a 20-year run, but I can't see New England being competitive for the next 5 years. I can see them improving, but where we can sit back and say, oh, you got to watch out for New England this year, I can't see us saying that for a long time.
It's going to be a process. It's going to be a drawn. It's not going to be just, hey, we have a quarterback and a receiver. They're going to go through their lumps And they're gonna need a new coach, man. Like I get Justin's frustration with Belichick. I mean, dude, they scored one fucking touchdown in the last 3 weeks. Unless the 6 against the Colts was a missed extra point, but there was 10-6, 10-7, and then 6-0. Like
Exactly.
they're just not good, man. But you know
They
who
are
looks
not.
good? The fucking Rams, man.
The Rams did look good.
Sheesh.
I am impressed. I am impressed.
Puka.
And I feel bad because you guys are probably going to get shellacked this weekend, but you have been on a tear. The Rams are looking like they're bound for that 7th playoff spot. You're going to be probably fighting with the Packers for it, which is bad news because they've also been on a tear.
Bro, Puka Nacua is number
Puka
11
Nacua
in
is
the
the real
NFL.
deal.
Bro, he's number 11 in the NFL in receptions as a rookie, number 7 in receiving yards. Look at the company ahead of him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek is number 1. Puka is number 7. We have the number 2 scoring offense in our division, obviously behind the bitch-ass team from the Bay, and we have the 7th fewest giveaways in the NFL. I'm really looking forward to seeing how we perform down the stretch. To say this is going to be a test is a massive we might get our ass killed. And honestly, the Packers winning Sunday night kind of brought my mood down a little bit because I mean, it's now they're ahead of us. I mean, I haven't checked the updated standings, but let me see. I think the Packers are ahead of us. They have the tiebreaker. I know that.
Thank you for calling
yeah.
WeFigure.com. Care help desk. How can I help you? This is Justin. Hey Sal, how's it going? How's it going?
Hey, Chief.
Anyways,
There we go.
So yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Ian. And if I were a Rams fan, I'd be ecstatic the way they've been playing over the past few weeks. You're right. This is going to be a huge test for them. The biggest test of the year so far, bar none. Now, who was the last? I want to try to test them out on this. Who was the last really good team the Rams played, and how did they do?
When you say you said solid, and then you said really good. Like, are you talking about like contending team or like an elite?
Yeah,
team,
like who?
Dallas?
Yeah, let's put it like this, because the Ravens are a true contender. So who's the last contender they played? Because that would be not even winning the game, but going up against a measuring stick for how they played against the last team that's a contender. I think is going to be a good pace for where the Rams are now compared to what they were prior in the season.
Yeah, I mean the last game that we was really Dallas. We lost.
It's been
Dallas.
that long.
I mean, well, then after that it was Green Bay, and then we beat. Oh shit, we won 3 in a row. I forgot about the Seattle win a couple of weeks. It's already been almost a fucking month. Well, it's been like a few weeks since that, but holy shit, that was a long time.
So the last team that you played that we'd consider a contender is Dallas, and obviously Dallas blew them out. But
before that, we lost to Pittsburgh by 7. We lost to Philly at home by 9. Lost to Cincinnati at home by 3. We lost to San Francisco by 7. I mean, honestly, looking at it here, we haven't beaten. And let me see. I think the Seahawks are still. Oh no, they're not in the playoff picture no more. That's right. They've lost a couple. They're 6-6. Wow, how the mighty have fallen. They started the season like fucking 5-2, bro. I didn't even realize that shit. So my friend was like, "Yeah, we're 5-2." But I mean, we really haven't beaten anybody that's worth anything this year. I mean, we went to Indianapolis and won. So what? We beat Cleveland.
The
Browns,
all
right.
The Colts are hot. They've won 4 in a row. They're 7-5.
Yeah, and they're clinging on to the last wild card spot. But I see Houston jumping them personally for that season.
I do too. I can see that absolutely.
Or Denver. I mean, shit. Denver's 6-6, but they're only a fucking game out of the 7th seed. All let's say. Yeah. I mean, it's 12 games, so we got 5 left.
That's crazy. This NFL season has gone by so fast.
Bro, it has. I mean, I think the only time we didn't do the show was week 1, no?
No, we did it. It just didn't get aired. So, you talked about the Patriots, talked about the Rams. I'm going to dive into my Cowboys real quick before we get into our pick segment here. That Seahawks game, I'm going to say the same thing I said after the Chargers game. That was the best win of the year for Dallas right there. They finally faced a game where they trailed at home for the first time, and they trailed for a majority of that game. And then of course they were down late in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott leads a phenomenal drive, gets the 2-point conversion, puts them up 3, and then we stop them on 3 straight possessions to a 4-and-out. They went for it 3 straight times on 4th down. We stopped them every time. They were absolutely eating our defense alive. As I've been hearing all week long, DaRon Bland finally got some seasoning. He's not so bland anymore. He got cooked by DK Metcalf pretty much all game. He got absolutely scorched by DK. I'm glad that happened. It put a reality check back into DaRon Bland, and I think it put a reality check back into our defense. We have a absolutely crucial part of our schedule coming up, including this Sunday. It's the biggest game in years in the regular season for the Cowboys. I am ready for that game. I hope the Cowboys are ready because they're getting a pissed off Philly team coming into Dallas on Sunday night. We'll see how that unfolds, but I think this is by far the biggest stretch of the season for the Cowboys. This is going to determine where their seeding falls. Granted, I'm not going to be all too upset if we still fall into that 5th seed because that means we're just going to play the winner of the NFC South. Totally cool with that. There's not a team in the NFC South that worries me. It's either going to be the Saints or the Falcons. Dallas will destroy either one of them. Not worried about that. But I would much rather get that 1 seed, and Dallas still is on the table for that at the moment. If they beat Philly on Sunday, they'll be in a dead even lock with Philly for the lead in the division and the 1 seed. Actually, well, no, if San Fran beats Seattle, which they will, the winner of the NFC East would be in the 2 seed because San Francisco has beaten Philadelphia and Dallas. Yeah. So San Fran's more than likely going to get the 1 seed, which is fine. However, this is where my head is at when it comes to Dallas. They finally beat a team with a winning record. At the time, they were 6-5. Now they're 6-6. So technically, they still don't have a win against a team with a winning record. I'm cool with that. But I liked the grit that they showed. I liked the poise that they showed. And boy, oh boy, did Dak Prescott come through in the clutch. There's not many times you can say that as a Cowboys fan, but he showed up when it mattered the most. And I am ready to say I think that Rayne Dakota Prescott at this current juncture is the MVP of the NFL. He's leading the league in passer rating. He has the most touchdowns in the NFL. He's 3rd in yards. I think it's a hard case to make against Dak. He has been on a tear the past 6 weeks. He has been on a tear playing the highest level of football of his career.
You put him over Tyreek?
Yes, because it's a quarterback. Like if I personally was doing the MVP, I'd go to Tyreek. I know
it's the quarterback. It's the quarterback award. I know.
Yes. Yeah. So at this moment, especially the way that Jalen Hurts got beat down by the 49ers last Sunday, I think that took him out of the MVP conversation for this week because we know the MVP race is going to be week to week from here on out for the rest of the season. It's going to switch every week. Right now, I think it's Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I'm willing to switch. I think last week I had Jalen Hurts last week. I think we
both did, Ian.
Who did Justin have?
We all 3 of us had Jalen Hurts.
We all 3 had Jalen Hurts. I mean, do you guys have a different MVP now, or like?
I'd say
Brock Purdy's a close second right now.
Brock Purdy's okay, but who's your first?
Dak.
Right now, it'd be Dak. Okay, so we're all in agreement. Right now, Dak Prescott would be the MVP. Now,
I think Jalen Hurts dropped to 3rd.
Yeah, I could see that. And then the way Tua's been lighting it up, obviously Tua's going to get some nods in there. What do you boys say? We hop into the best segment, our picks.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm down.
We all sucked last week, I feel.
Well,
Listen, we did fine.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys did fucking fantastic. I don't know if you saw it on the group earlier. I'm actually double checking right now. You and Casey both went. Gary needs a new pair of shoes. You guys both went 10-3. I went 7-6. I'll just roll through a brief summary of it. I was the only one that picked the Patriots. Justin said that was dumber than me doing the whole Georgia and Alabama are going to lose the same weekend thing. I see why. They couldn't fucking score a single point. We all whiffed on the Steelers. I was the only one that picked Philly. They got fucking butt fucked by the Niners. And we all had the Chiefs, and we all had Jacksonville. So your guys' only 3 losses were the Chiefs, Jacksonville, and the Steelers. My losses were Patriots, Steelers, Broncos, Eagles, Chiefs, and Jags. But yeah, you guys did
I think the
fucking
Steelers would have
fantastic.
won if Kenny Pickett hadn't gone down.
Man,
I think the Jags would have wanted Trevor Lawrence to go down.
Very true.
Me too. I mean, we weren't
All right, boys.
anticipating that when we made our picks. We all thought he was gonna play the entire game.
So, Thursday night.
Jake Browning had a hell of a game.
I heard.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I heard.
Thursday night, fellas. We have Justin's New England Patriots heading in to play the Pittsburgh Steelers and probably Mitchell Trubisky, but I'm still going with the Steelers. In a 6-3 game, probably.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Patriots in a defensive touchdown.
You're picking with your heart. You know damn well the Patriots are going to lose.
Wait, you really got the Patriots? I'll pencil you in.
Pencil them in.
Dude, tell me why I was like kind of thinking about the Patriots and
Go
like,
for it. Pick them. Pick them. Pick 'em.
He's like, let me go ahead and start 1-0. I don't know, dude. Especially because the Steelers just got fucking destroyed.
T.J. Watt is going to annihilate that offensive line.
Yeah, I'm picking the Steelers, dude. I'm sorry. And if the Patriots do somehow, by some fucking miraculous work of God, win this game, then that will be further proof that we all know our teams better than other people know our teams. Because Justin has been the most, he's been more critical of them than you are of the Celtics.
That's tough. That's a tough thing to do.
That's pretty tough. Because the Panthers the Halliburton just let the Celtics have it last night.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later. That dude
pissed me
turned
off.
into fucking MJ last night, bro.
So for game 2, we got the Houston Texans heading into MetLife to face the Jets. I'm going to take the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans need to bounce back.
Yeah, Texans gotta have it. Wait, you said Texans just won.
Did he win? I thought
Yeah,
were
they
on
beat
the
Broncos.
Wait, matter of fact. Oh, I picked Denver with my dumb ass. You guys were the only ones that picked the Texans. I have the Texans on my parlay. That's why I got confused. So who you guys got on this one? Sorry.
Texans.
All right, I got Texans too. What's the next one on the game, G?
So the next game, Ian, this has some intriguing aspects for you. We got your Los Angeles Rams heading into Citibank Field to take on the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Ravens.
Let me cook now. I should have no faith in the Rams.
Correct.
Against the Ravens. Now, you look at it, Baltimore is obviously like, before I make my pick, do you guys think Baltimore is the AFC favorite for the Super Bowl? Like, I know neither of you guys are high on Miami. You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Now, for this one,
I think they're a close second behind Kansas City.
I think they're. I mean, depending on their matchup, they'll be in the championship game.
There we go. All right, I'm trying to. Just ram it. Give me the fucking Rams, man. Give me the Rams.
Picking the Rams. I like it, Ian. You're going out on a limb. You're showing faith in your team just like Justin did. I like it. That's, good for you, Ian. I'm happy for you. I'm not picking the Rams, but I'm happy for you. So for the next game, we got the Carolina Panthers heading in to face their NFC South foe, the New Orleans Saints. For some reason, the Saints can't get it together at all. But I'm still going to pick them this game.
Yeah, I'm picking the Saints to auction out the AFC South, the NFC South playoff spot. Please, somebody.
Let Florida State play in the NFC South. Just kidding.
Who's leading the AFC South? Do they have a losing record? Is it the Falcons?
Right now, I think it's the Falcons.
Yeah, they're 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, the Saints only had the only team in that division with a positive point differential. 2 points positive.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm picking the Saints in this game, though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm stupid, but I'm not. I can't say that word. Don't want to get canceled. I got the Saints.
Got the Saints. We have another showdown here. This one's actually kind of interesting. A lot of these games are actually kind of getting tough to pick here. We have the surprisingly, and I mean surprisingly hot Indianapolis Colts, who've won 4 in a row, heading in to Jake Browning territory now at this point to face the Cincinnati Bengals.
I watched that game last night. I'm taking Cincinnati. Jake Browning looked on fire.
I'm going with Cincinnati as well.
I got the Colts. Not gonna fade the Colts right now.
So the next game is another NFC South showdown. Another tough game. And I know whatever I pick here, they're gonna fuck me. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading into Hotlanta to face the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons.
Dude, this is one of those games to where, like, both teams still have let's see, what is Tampa's record? Because they're not
5-7,
shit.
I think.
I mean, yeah, so they're kind of hanging on for dear life, but in that shitty ass division, I mean,
I think if Tampa
But
Bay
they're still
wins this
out.
game, they take in the
They're
lead in the
still out.
division.
Yeah, for this one, I don't know, man, this is a tough one. I mean, they're
ass.
I'm going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think you guys know where this is going.
You're picking Tampa.
Did,
Okay.
did him saying welcome to I got the Falcons. Who do you
Yeah,
guys
I
got
heard
again?
you. I heard you. We're all on Atlanta.
Got you. I thought that's what you guys said. I was just
So this is
All
a
right.
battle. This is the battle of Jacksonville and Cleveland. Joe Flacco's Cleveland Browns against probably not Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
CJ Beathard.
Oh God, CJ Beathard.
Actually
Oh
didn't
my
look that
God.
terrible last night when he was in. But I mean, his first play from scrimmage, he scrambles for a 7-yard run and fumbles the ball on his first play from scrimmage. Granted,
Yeah,
he didn't
and
lose
Joe
the ball. He wasn't a
Flacco
turnover,
came
but
off
still.
the couch and looked half decent against the Rams. Oh my goodness. God, I don't know, dude.
this is a tough one, man.
I'm going
This
to say
is a really tough
Jacksonville.
one.
I think, well, actually, no. I'm going to take Cleveland because Christian Kirk is also down and out.
Cleveland has a stout defense.
I'm
I'm gonna go
give
the
me-
Browns.
me the Browns, yeah.
It is in I think
It's in Cleveland.
It's in Cleveland.
I mean, I don't know, man. The thing is, Jacksonville, they're leading the AFC South by 1 game, and I mean, we're looking right now. It looks like it's gonna be a high ankle
Crazy.
sprain. Maybe
It's
a
a
low
high
ankle
ankle sprain for Trevor Lawrence. But crazy thought, if they had won last night, they would have the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, if they won, I said they were the
Jacksonville.
number 1 seed. Yeah. And it's not a high ankle sprain; it's a low ankle sprain, by the way.
What was it? I thought it was a high ankle sprain.
Doug Peterson today said it was a low.
well, no, it actually says Jaguars coach Doug Peterson on Tuesday told reporters that
High ankle sprain.
Lawrence had just a high ankle sprain. Yeah, and
It's
all
a
those
high
tests
I
ankle
came
saw
sprain.
low.
Nope.
Okay, so it is high. Okay, so oh, that's worse than a low ankle sprain.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
now
is.
he didn't according to Doug Peterson, he didn't give a timetable for the recovery, but it isn't going to be season ending. I've got Jacksonville. They're gonna
Christian
figure
Kirk
out
is season ending.
Christian Kirk's the season ending. That's a big
Core
blow.
muscle injury might require surgery.
That's a big blow. That kills their Super Bowl hopes. But
I mean,
yeah,
they can
I'm
still
going
win the division.
they probably will. I'm going Cleveland on this one.
Whoever's got Evan Ingram in their fantasy, or if you haven't picked him up, get him now. Because that's not what you're going to have. Him and Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
You're going
This is a tough
Jacksonville,
one,
Ian?
man. I don't know, man. I mean, because Cleveland, let's see where they are. I mean, they're 7-5. They are in the 6th seed. Jacksonville's obviously leading the AFC South. But if Cleveland drops this game, then they're gonna. I mean, hell, it's gonna be a dogfight in the AFC for a wild card spot. I mean, and don't forget about Buffalo. It's an absolute desperation spot for both teams. I was gonna go Jacksonville, man, but Cleveland needs this one too. It's a fucking
Jacksonville's too
spread.
hurt, I think. That's the problem.
I think so too, man. It's hard, and they're in Cleveland.
Yep.
I mean, it's gonna be a bounce back game for both. Give me the Browns. Fuck it, give me the Browns.
Yeah, so we're all on the Browns then. Next game, we have the Detroit Lions heading into Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. And I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions.
I'm going to walk my ass back across 8 Mile. Give it the Lions.
Absolutely. Turn around with a great smile.
Everybody in the 313, why are the Lions only -3? Give me the Lions.
I like that. I thought you were going to say, how are the Lions 9-3? That would have been good too.
Bars.
Next game, we have an NFC West showdown. The Seattle Seahawks traveled to the San Francisco to play the 49ers. And do we even need to sit here and talk about this one, or can we just move on?
We're good. We're good.
We all got the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, you guys had the Seahawks. I had the 49ers. That's exactly right, Ian.
We all got Niners for the record.
We all got Niners. Yes, absolutely. Then we got Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings heading into Ian's Las Vegas Raiders.
Shut the
Play
fuck
the
up.
Raiders.
Sick of that shit.
Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, give me the Vikings.
I don't fucking know, man. I don't trust none of these fucking teams at this point. Like, we just see too much bullshit. I mean, at this point, the Raiders 5-7.
Vegas is ass.
So are the Vikings, though.
The Vikings have. I mean, hell, they're more of a team that I can't make out heads or tails with them than the Raiders. It feels like.
Yeah.
Give me the Raiders. Do you guys both got the Vikings?
Yes, give me the Vikings.
Okay.
Next game, AFC West showdown. We have the surprisingly hot Denver Broncos heading into LA to play Justin Herbert and the 6-point scoring Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know on this one, actually.
The Chargers, I think, were held to so few points because the Patriots defense was that good comparatively.
Oh, I don't disagree, but it's also the Chargers. Like,
this is true. They find ways to lose.
I have zero faith in them.
Zero.
Give me the Broncos. It's a pick 'em too. Chargers are
I'll
-3.
take the Broncos. I'll take the Broncos.
You're gonna take the Broncos. I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick the Chargers.
Ooh. Yeah, I went on a hell of a limb picking the Patriots against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
What we got next?
Next game. This shapes up to be a big factor in the AFC, fellas. An absolute huge factor in the AFC. We have the Buffalo Bills heading into Arrowhead to take on Kermit the Frog and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City needs this one.
They do. They both need it. But there's a certain rule in sports that I am going to go with on this one, and it's just been a rule in sports the past 3 years. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
In December.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs too. I think it'll be close. It might be a shootout, but I'll take Kansas City.
And it is in Kansas City. Oh my God, this is a tough one, man. I mean, because Buffalo right now is number 11 in the AFC playoff picture. Like they need this.
Buffalo needs it, but Buffalo is falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of falling under.
I'm just saying, if this comes to fruition, Justin called this back in like August. He said Buffalo's going to miss the playoffs, and I said he was a crack-smoking weirdo.
Thank you for calling Wayfair Care Help Desk. This is Justin. How can I help you?
And so, if Kansas City pulls this off, if they pull this off, I truly think that he may be right in that call, and they may miss the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it's starting to look more like that. He definitely called it, man. I mean, hell, like there's just teams to where you could sense it, and I'm kind of with you. Like when in doubt, take Patrick Mahomes.
That's what I'm saying. If you're ever in a game where you're leaning one way or the other, and the Chiefs are involved, you gotta roll with the Chiefs. I mean, granted, they haven't looked like the Chiefs for most of the season. They have. Something is going on with that offense that they are not clicking. But I think and this may be just crazy talk. I think that's the best problem the Chiefs could have, is that they're having an offensive problem. Because A, their defense is a top 5 defense in the league this year. Also, they're probably, we can't say for sure, but they're probably going to figure that shit out when the time gets right. And if Kansas City can get on the same page
They always
offensively,
do.
that's what I'm saying. If they get on that same page offensively that their defense is playing on to this level, then they may be cakewalking to a Super Bowl this year, because their defense is elite. All that they have to worry about is their passing game, and they have the most talented quarterback in the history of the league on their team.
Dude, I mean, because it was like the last couple of seasons, like hell, I think it might have been the year that they lost to the Bengals, the AFC Championship, but they were struggling. Like, it was closer to the earlier of the season. I mean, it wasn't this deep, but they were still struggling. They still damn near went to the Super. Like, we've seen this every year, but I don't think we've seen this
level of struggle.
Loses, they're going to, if Buffalo loses this week, they are going to miss the playoffs.
Which you, Justin, I give you so much credit for. I apologize for calling you a crack-smoking weirdo. They are not the same Buffalo Bills we've seen the past couple of years. I told you that losing
Leslie Frazier to begin the year was going to help. It was going to kill them.
You absolutely did. No, you were absolutely right about that. And a point that Ian and I were just making regarding this game against Kansas City is, I think personally, Kansas City has the best problem you can have right now if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and that's that their passing game is the weakest point of their team right now. And when you have the quarterback that is the most talented this game has ever seen, when you have him,
right?
He's a more mobile Aaron Rodgers, though.
Yeah.
So that's why I give him the edge in that. When that issue is your passing game and you have him on your team, I think you're going to figure that shit out when the time is needed. So I think that is a great problem for them to have. If they can't figure it out, then they have some conversations to make, like, who the hell do we need to get in here for a receiver to help this guy? However, get off my lamb. That ain't happening.
No, honestly, though, Stephon Diggs.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no, that's not fair. If you put Stephon Diggs on that team, it's not fair. That's 19-0.
That was his X factor.
That's 19-0 waiting to happen. Well, yes, but here's where it's different now, Justin. Kansas City's defense is now elite.
I know.
Imagine if they had Tyreek Hill with this level of defense. There's no shot Kansas City has lost a game this year. None.
No.
They would beat everybody comfortably.
Even with Patrick Mahomes playing and asking it like he has a couple times this last season.
Okay. Has Patrick Mahomes played bad, or is his receivers dropped 15 balls a game?
Bad for him.
Fair to an extent, but take it back to the Philly game.
Other than Travis Kelce.
Even take it back to the Philly game. He hit Marquez Valdez-Scantling right in his hands for the game-winning touchdown. He dropped it. Now, okay, so are we all on Kansas City for this game?
Yeah.
We're on Kansas City? Okay. So let's move on because we spent a good enough time talking about that game. We have the Philadelphia Eagles heading into Jerry World on a Sunday night to face the red-hot Dallas Cowboys.
Get the doors blown off in Jerry World. Give me the Cowboys.
You think Dallas going to blow the doors off them?
Blow the doors off.
You're good at these, Justin. I want to hear final score. What's it going to be?
35-10.
Oh my God!
Damn. Yeah, I was, and we'll definitely let Casey Cook last on this one because I know he's very opinion. And I'm always same thing with Justin. I'm always very interested to hear your guys' takes on your own teams because I know that you try very hard to be objective, and you guys are normally fucking right. I was about to say exactly what Justin just did.
I've gone against Dallas twice this year, and I was right both times.
I think Dallas is going to beat the piss out of them. I think this is the week. I'll give you my final score in a second. I think this is the week that Dallas starts to separate itself from Philly, and we start talking about who's better, Dallas or the Niners, and that's the only conversation we have. I still have the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Don't want to jinx anything. My final score for this weekend is Dallas 38, Eagles 10.
Even a further stretch than mine.
Wow. Okay, you guys are way more confident than I am. And I mean way. And I think that's just my hesitancy as a fan. Now, with that said, I'm picking Dallas to win this game. I am picking the Cowboys to avenge their loss at Lincoln Financial. I think they win this game 27-24 in overtime.
Ooh, I like that pick too, though.
27-24. I think it's going to be a nail biter down to the finish. That's how it was in Lincoln Financial Field. Philly just happened to get the win. And I'm going to go back and take away something that I said after that game. I was emotional after that game on our show.
Just a little.
And I said Dallas is going to blow the doors off them next time they play. I'm taking that part back because what I saw against Seattle gives me pause to cause in that nature where I don't think they can blow the doors off Philadelphia because of how talented Philadelphia's offensive roster is. I think they have a lot of great one-on-one matchups that they're going to be able to expose. However, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not sure if you've seen his numbers against Philadelphia. Dak Prescott rips apart Philadelphia's defense every year. Every single year, win or loss, which it's normally a split every year with Dallas and Philly. They both normally win a game. But Dak Prescott annihilates their defense every year. They had the number one defense last year, basically, in Dallas, and Dak hung 40 on them on Christmas Eve. That was my early Christmas present.
Oh, that was Christmas Eve. Yeah, I remember I was driving around listening. That was like Philly's first or second loss, right?
Second loss of the season. Dak lit them and shred them to pieces. And let's not act like Dak Prescott hasn't taken his game to another level from the Dak Prescott of last year. I think Dak's going to have a really solid game. I think CD's going to go for over 100 again, but I think it's going to be 27-24 Dallas. So we're all in the Cowboys, so let's hope we're right on that. I don't know if you boys know this. We have a Monday night doubleheader.
I did see that.
I just saw that.
It's awesome, but also neither of the games are even remotely worth watching. We have the Green Bay Packers heading into MetLife to take on the Giants. I'm assuming we're all on the Packers.
Yep.
And then we have the Tennessee Titans heading into South Beach to lose by 45 to the Dolphins.
Yep.
So we're all going with the Dolphins, right?
Yep.
What a way to end the pick segment.
What a way to end the pick segment, boys. I gotta say it's becoming my favorite part.
I'm surprised
of
they
the
didn't
show.
flex one of those games out, to be honest. Like
They really should have. They flexed out week 15 Monday night. It's no longer the Patriots and the Chiefs. Thank fucking God.
Thank God.
Nobody wants to. I'm sorry, Justin, but nobody wants to watch the Patriots this year. Not only are they an extremely terrible
my 4-year-old son is the one who does.
It's not even because you can be bad, but also be entertaining. Take the 08 Detroit Lions, for example. They were terrible, but boy, were they entertaining to watch because they had a lot of high-scoring, close games.
They had heart.
This Patriots team is not only terrible, they're boring.
They don't have any heart. The offense has no heart.
That too, but they're just boring to watch. There's nothing exciting about a New England Patriots game right now. Nothing.
I'm just thinking about the because remember last year we were talking about Matt Patricia's offense. Run to the left, run to the light, pass short of the sticks, punt.
It's sad that Matt Patricia had more success as an offensive coordinator.
I mean,
your offense was better last year.
Don't even say that.
It's true.
It's true, but that's people even think about.
That's the sad thing. Your offense was better. So there you have it, folks. There's our pick segment. So we're gonna jump into the next topic here. Ian, there's something that I know you wanted to lead into, and I want you to lead into it. I talked about it in the group text.
You know, I was hoping that you didn't forget that I wanted to lead. Go ahead.
No, you lead right into it, my friend, because Justin and I had an experience this weekend, and just lead into it, my friend. Lead right in.
Yeah. So this weekend, we obviously had a hockey game. Hockey, I miss Sean. Where's my boy? We had a hockey game in Maine between New Hampshire and the Black Bears. Casey and Justin went. They played New Hampshire. They won the game. What was the fun game? 3-2 or 5-2?
5-2.
I
Right.
fucking called it.
I want to hear your guys' experience just being there inside the Alphon. Yeah, you called that final score.
I called the final score and I called a fucking hat trick too.
Yeah, it's the wrong brother, and then Bradley got the hat trick on Sunday. Both brothers got a hat trick in the same weekend. First of all, that's phenomenal. But the experience, when I say the Alphon is back, boy, oh boy, is that an understatement. It was loud. It was rowdy. It was filled to the brim. Justin, it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it was shoulder to shoulder. There was not an empty seat in that arena. It was absolutely filled to the brim. I believe the total attendance there, they said, was 5,402, which is the maxed out. Even the standing room was full.
Well, New Hampshire was ranked, right?
They were ranked 12th. Maine was ranked 11th at the time.
Shit.
Maine has since jumped to 8th because of their dominating weekend. I just have to say, watching them in person, they are fast, they are skilled, they hit, and Bradley and Josh have a connection that only brothers could have on the ice. They know exactly where the other one is, and they know exactly where to put that puck. And
like brothers, they chirp at each other like brothers.
They chirp at each other. They get the absolute best out of each other.
That's
and
cool.
Sadly, Justin and I missed the first goal because we went to the donor lounge, which is like a place you can go to get food and drinks during intermission. We went to the donor lounge with 2 minutes left in the first period, and we missed Josh Nadeau's first goal.
I did watch it on the replay, and it was sick.
It came with 2 seconds left in the first period, and we missed it.
You guys missed that crowd go crazy, huh? While you're getting fucking whatever the fuck you guys eat in Maine, fucking lobster and shit. Chowder.
I mean, no. Ew, fuck no. First of all, I know from Maine, I don't eat any seafood whatsoever. I think seafood is the nastiest shit ever. I would never eat seafood. It's gross. Fuck seafood. Anyways. See? Anyways, what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. We missed the first goal, but from the second period on, it was an absolute domination. Maine scored, 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the second period? It was an absolute rout. We got some great chance. The Maine student section, after the 5th goal, hit the goalie with, "It's all your fault. It's all your fault."
That's cool.
But here's my biggest take. Here was my big takeaway from that game.
Uh-huh.
And Casey, I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going to go with this one. Going into that game, Maine had been running with their main goalie, Victor Osman, and he's been their number one goalie for, what was it?
2 years now.
Last 2 years?
Yep.
Has it been the last 2 years he's been there?
Yep, 2 years now. This is the second year he's been their full-time goalie.
But Osman didn't play at all. And I didn't. We were sitting there like, where's Osman's on the bench? Who's the goalie? Albin Boyja, a freshman who has never played a collegiate game in his life, came in there and stood on his head in his first ever collegiate game against UNH, Maine's biggest rival, arguably.
Not even close to arguably.
Yeah, arguably, because I would say BU is probably a close second. And held him to 2, and one of them was a garbage time goal.
I will say that goal was pretty sweet, though. That was a backdoor one-timer. That was perfectly played by New Hampshire. But he had no chance of stopping that one. I will say this in defense of Osman that I didn't realize until after the game. He's the number 1 recruited NHL free agency goalie.
Thank you for calling Care Help Desk. This is Justin. How can I help you?
And so it was phenomenal to see what Maine could do. I was so impressed with this weekend, not to mention taking on another foe that you really didn't have much time to prepare for on Sunday against the University of Connecticut. And they beat them 7-2 or 7-2, 7-3.
That was a close game for a good amount of the games. It was like 2-2.
It was. Yep, it absolutely was. And then Maine put their foot on their throat and said, no, you're not taking these points from us this weekend, and just blew the doors off them. I was super impressed. I feel like Maine can compete with anybody. I still don't think they're a championship team yet. They still have they're still a couple pieces away from that, which I think if they keep improving, their recruitment's going to get better. So I truly feel like they're going to be there within the next year or so. They're not there yet. They're definitely a tournament ready team. They can win a game in the tournament, but they're not ready for the likes of BU. I understand they beat BC. I don't think they could beat BC on a neutral site. I think the Alphon really amps their play. They're undefeated at home. You could count because the shootout overtime loss doesn't count on the record, so they're undefeated at home in the record books. I was thoroughly impressed. I'm so happy that Justin and I went to that game. It was almost like a spur of the moment type thing. It was beautiful how it ended up happening. Maine they look ready. They don't have the same Achilles heel that I've seen with them the past few years, which was, they could play with a lot of teams, but they couldn't create their own scoring opportunities to win games. That is different this year. They have two players in Bradley and Josh that know how to create their own shot to make plays to win big games. I don't know how much of either of game you got to watch. Ian being in Vegas, of course. I know you had the ESPN Plus.
I didn't realize they played Sunday. Honestly, I thought they
play tomorrow too.
No shit.
Yeah, they do.
On a fucking win. No, they play not RPI. They play you. No, they just play you. Who the fuck they play tomorrow?
Union.
At Union.
Yeah, and then I was in one of the main hockey group that Merritt added me to, like the main hockey, whatever the fuck it's called. Main Black Bear hockey fans, and people were like, "Oh my god, I wish we could keep them forever." They're like, "No, it's not." I mean, they're gonna, Bradley obviously is what was it, the 30th pick by the Carolina Hurricanes. Josh has started to come on.
Josh is getting some NHL looks now too.
Yeah, they were saying there was scouts from like the Predators, the Red Wings at the game. So they're, at the New Hampshire game. But somebody was saying in the comments, which made a lot of sense. And if I had it pulled up right now, I'd give the guy a shout out, even though he's not going to listen to it, nor is anybody except for like us three. But
was it me? Because I posted it there too.
Oh no,
if you couldn't find it, what was the name? Because my cousin posting that all the time. He's a huge Maine hockey fan. It honestly could have been him.
It wasn't Justin. I would have known if it was Justin. But he was pretty much saying like, once yeah, it's going to suck to see those guys go, but all that's going to do is it's going to attract more recruits. Like, okay, I can go there, play good competitive hockey, be on a good team, and get NHL looks. And it's just, it's with Ben Barr there, it's going to, as long as they keep him, that's mainly what he was saying. Like, I don't care if that happens, it's going to bring in more talent. I mean, same thing with Kentucky and Duke. Guys don't want to necessarily go to Virginia or like just a couple other schools where they build these 4-year
people with Duke for Coach K, for example.
And
yeah,
I'm saying this, and I mean this in the most unbiased way possible, but it's going to sound super biased. Now that Maine is back to where they're supposed to be, and the Alphon is sounding how it's supposed to sound again, it's by far the best atmosphere in college hockey. I don't think there's a close second. Our student section is second to none. They are all over the opponent's goaltender from warm-ups. You don't even get to hear the goaltender's name get announced because all you hear is Civ, 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 which obviously everyone knows what a Civ is. So it's just...
What is a Civ? I know it's like you suck, but
but a Civ is like, it's a pasta dish, Ian. You know how Civ, you sieve out the water?
Everything comes through.
Everything gets through it.
Nice.
So from the opening jump, it's just nothing but chance at the goalie. They'll talk about your mom. They'll talk about your girlfriend. It does not matter. They will find dirt on you, and it will become a chant.
I gotta go to a fucking game one of these days, bro. Fuck, man. That shit seems so fun.
Next year we go out to Arizona State, I heard.
Yeah, but he won't see the student section.
No, it's true. But maybe
nor am I
travel.
Wait, they are D1 now? Yeah, Arizona State. They've been D1 for like a few years.
This is their second year D1.
I'm just saying, Ian, if you ever get a chance, please go to a game. I will bring you, if you ever get to Maine, I will bring you to a game.
I will say one thing about the second game. The score was not indicative of how they played. Connecticut outmuscled Maine for most of the night.
They did. They were hungrier. But it's
They
like
were.
I was telling Ian, once that third period hit, Maine flipped that switch. It was like, no, we're just better than you, and we're going to show it now.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty sweet that over the weekend the brothers each got 3 assists on their respective brothers' hat tricks.
I'll say this too.
No shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, both of them. Josh Nadeau got a hat trick Friday night. Bradley Nadeau got a hat trick Sunday.
And they both
and
had three
each
assists.
of them had 3 assists on each one.
Yeah.
Wow. That's chemistry right there. Holy shit.
Absolutely, it's chemistry. And Ian, I'll go back to a quick point that I was saying too. They obviously like I said, when Maine scored their 5th goal, the student section hit them with the "It's all your fault" chant. Which you got to think the student section is probably 600 people, and it was filled to the brim with 600 of them directly over the goalie's head, just screaming at him, "It's all your fault." But another chant that I loved was New Hampshire calls a timeout. They have everyone on the ice, on the bench, right? So the New Hampshire goalie skates to the bench, and again, the entire student section, 600 people, it was an empty net, started chanting "better goalie" to an empty net compared to their goalie. Like they were in his head from jump.
I could tell they fucking allowed 5 goals. Yeah, man, and I like the way that Alphon. I mean, it's college hockey. Most of them don't hit. I mean, North Dakota is pretty fucking big, but most of them are like it's 5,000-6,000. But that place, especially it's an indoor arena. Obviously, the roof seems very roof isn't too high up, so that sound doesn't go. It's hit. The sound's coming right back down.
Absolutely, and as another example for like the main student section, a few years back, Casey DeSmith, who's now the starting goalie for the Pittsburgh Penguins, was the starting goalie for the UNH Wildcats. The student section, well, I was a student there at the time. We changed the lyrics from Stacy's mom to Casey's mom, and we went all the way through the entire damn song.
I remember.
You went to University of Maine?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But I think, and then actually my favorite chant of the night was we were beating them like 4-1 at this point, or 5-1. To their whole team, we started chanting "You Maine rejects," indicating that we rejected them from our school. It was great. It was an electric night. I was so happy with our student section. They brought the energy. Unfortunately, actually not unfortunately, I'm actually glad they didn't bring the toy. Justin knows exactly what I mean. They didn't bring a toy and a puppet Wildcat. And you can use your imagination on that. One year they brought a toy that a female would use, and they brought a Wildcat prop.
Cut out. Yeah,
let's just clarify for the people who aren't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and they shoved it in the mouth of the Wildcat throughout the entire night.
The fuck?
So we can get pretty rowdy up there. But
touchdown Black Bears on Sunday night.
Yep.
As soon as I saw they had 7, that's the first thing I thought when you guys were talking about the touchdown Black Bears. Better goal. And that's funny to an empty net. That is funny.
And they actually chanted "empty net" at him too while he was in the net himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
On a power play, we were calling empty net on a power play.
And before we get, go ahead.
I was gonna say because sometimes when it gets like that, when it gets to a rowdy game like that, you can see the goalie like look up at the student section too when this is going on, and I always wonder what is going through his head, because there's no way on earth he doesn't hear it. He hears everything that's being said. Like at some point, does he ever just acknowledge like, all right, y'all got me. I'm shook tonight. Y'all got me.
BC's goalie did. When we beat them, BC's goalie did.
This year?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Okay. I missed that. I mean, that's not surprising.
Well, I mean, and one of the players from BC, I don't know if it was the goalie, but he was trying to like fight the fucking student section in the second.
That was the goalie after the shootout.
Yeah, there's nothing like the UMaine student section. They were lining up at the doors, Ian, for that game at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Game started at 7.
They were out there for
I
6
saw
hours.
that, yeah. And because I know you guys were going to the game later in the night, and I don't know if I texted you guys a picture, but I was going to, like, yo, you guys might want to fucking leave.
Dude,
like, I'm getting there's probably a separate entrance for students.
We had a haul. We were hauling ass when we got to the parking
barely
lot.
made it.
And my shins were still hurting for like 2 or 3 days after the fact for how like we were power walking the entire freaking way there.
Yeah,
How far
barely,
do you guys live?
Well, I live in Bangor. We both live in Bangor, actually, which is about 15 minutes from the arena. But the traffic that we hit, dude, we left at 6:20, about 40 minutes before the game starts.
Yep.
That's a bad idea.
We pulled into the campus at like 6:55.
We got in the door at the national anthem.
Yeah, we got into the door, found our seats before we didn't even find our seats before the national anthem.
Like
we found our section and our row, but we didn't find our seats until after the national anthem. But it was an amazing game. I'm so happy that we got to go. Justin was like, "How in the fuck is this possible? How did this happen?"
Because the game was sold out.
Then just got the text. You want to go to the game? He was like, "Yeah."
I had to feign illness.
He had to fake an illness.
I did. Totally did.
Wait, are you talking about to your wife or at work?
Work.
Thankfully, ain't nobody listens. Nah, they don't give a fuck. They just like, all right, that's
no,
funny.
but my wife said, okay, you just owe me mid chocolate chip ice cream when you get home. I was like, okay, sure, done.
Like, I'll pick that shit up on the way home. Let's store right down the street. Like that's no problem.
Yeah.
I probably want some too.
What do you boys say we move on to the question?
Sounds good to me.
Who has it tonight?
I got one. If one of you guys want to take a stab, because I had it last week, just let me know.
You did? I thought I had it last week. Okay, I'll take it.
Last week, Kissy.
Yeah, as I say, I thought I had it last week.
Wait,
I did. Yeah.
I thought last week was what's the biggest choke job? I thought I asked that one.
That's right. You did have that last week. I've got one actually.
Okay, go ahead.
You got one? Okay.
I do. If you were to take one college football BCS champion, non-USC, and put it up against Michigan, or at Michigan Alabama, because we all figured Michigan Alabama was going to be the championship.
Sure.
With the championship, who would you most want to see in that matchup?
That's a good question.
Non-USC, because he's like, yeah, we're gonna eliminate Ian's bias here. I already got my fucking answer.
I got my answer.
Is it the 0-1 Miami? Is it the Hurricanes?
It's my 0-1 Miami Hurricanes. Yes.
That would have been my answer too. So I'm gonna switch it and say the 2010, I believe it was, Florida Gators.
That was 08 when they had Tebow, Aaron Hernandez.
Sorry, 08. Yes. Okay. 08. Yep. The 2008 Florida Gators. If you guys are gonna say the Hurricanes, I'm gonna switch it up. Say that 08 Florida Gators. Tim Tebow, Percy Harvin, Aaron Hernandez. That team was loaded.
Who would win?
Okay, if we're talking about 0-1 Miami Hurricanes, it would be them.
Yeah.
I think the Florida game is debatable. I think that would be a hell of a game. I'd lean towards Florida, though.
That's the 08 Florida Gators and then this year's Michigan team. That's a pretty good, because obviously we're going based off of what they did in college, but it's hard because we've seen Percy Harvin, the Pounceys, Aaron Hernandez. Like, we saw them all.
On the pro level.
Yeah, on the pro level, have success at the pro level. And then Michigan, we
saw Tebow have success on the pro level, not sustained success, but we've seen him have success.
Yeah, we saw a little flash, but in that game, because Michigan, man, they're good. Florida.
Let's be frank. I think the 0-1 Miami Hurricanes are the best college football team ever assembled.
Yeah, me too.
I'd take them over the USC teams.
Absolutely, yeah, I would too. And I know that hurts your heart, Ian, but it's true.
No, I mean, I probably would too. I mean, USC had a great. I mean, we won 34 games in a row. Don't get me wrong, but let's just look through that 01 Miami Hurricanes roster real quick, just for shits and giggles, just off the top of my head.
Unbelievable.
They had Jeremy Shockey.
Ed Reed.
I'm trying to find the. They did have Ed Reed on that.
Sean
team.
Taylor. Willis McGahee.
Wait, was that the year McGahee? Was that the year before McGahee got hurt, or was it the year after McGahee got hurt?
Bro, look at this fucking team. That was the year before, because I think McGahee got hurt against Ohio State. I think.
Yeah, he did.
Lost. They had fucking Frank Gore, Clinton Portis. They had Kellen Winslow. Wait, was he? No, I don't know. He wasn't on the team yet. They had Shockey, Roscoe Parrish. He played in the NFL. Frank Gore, Clinton Portis, Ken Dorsey, Andre fucking Johnson, Najee Davenport. Oh, I'm only on the offense side. That's why. And then look at the defense. This must have been before. Nope, Vince Wilfork was there. They had Vince Wilfork. Yep. They had Jonathan Vilma. Sean Taylor, which, I mean, I think we can all agree he might have ended up being one of the best safeties of all time had he not tragically been killed. You had Philip Buchanan, who was on the team. You had Ed Reed and Trell Roll. Like, who's beating that team? Ohio State, Ohio State got fucking lucky the next year. They called a bullshit pass interference. Miami had the fucking game won. McGahee went out. That team was, dude, it's like, you're not beating that team, bro. Like, just pray to fucking God they don't embarrass you and take your girlfriend. And then check this out. Just look at some of their coaching staff too. You have Randy Shannon, who, I mean, he didn't really, do much after like as a head coach, but you have Mark Stoops as the defensive back coach.
That's incredible.
Like, dude, like, it's just the Florida team. Before we get off, let's just look at their roster real quick, because I'm a lot more familiar with Miami.
Tebow, Hernandez, Harvin.
Yeah, Tebow, Hernandez, Harvin. You have personnel roster.
Pouncies.
The Pouncies. Cam Newton was a sophomore. I always forget about that. He was a sophomore on that team. That was before he went to community college and then went to Auburn. Yeah, Percy Harvin, Riley Cooper, racist ass. You have yeah, that team was good, bro. Aaron Hernandez, and I'm just kind of looking through it right now. They have Michael Ross. Janoris Jenkins was on that team. He was a freshman. And then I don't know if you guys have ever, and then obviously their head coach. They had fucking Urban Meyer. Dan Mullen was the offensive coordinator for that team. Charlie Strong ended up being a head coach himself at Louisville. I want to say Charlie Strong coached somewhere else too. Maybe it was Texas.
Coaching Kansas State.
I don't know, because I know that Bill Schneider was at Kansas State for fucking ages. But he did.
Paul Crew would say, "Are you shitting me for Coach Schneider?"
Yeah. But that team was just loaded. Have you guys ever seen the hit that, what was it, Major Wright laid on the Oklahoma receiver in that game?
Yeah.
Oh my, he said, I wanted his soul. And then speaking of that, man, I've never seen it. I heard the documentary for that was very disappointing.
It's okay. I've seen it. It's okay. It's nothing special, but it's okay.
Just think about that team, bro. They had Aaron Hernandez, the Pouncies, Tebow, Urban Meyer, Percy Harvin, and I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak to what I've heard about it though. They didn't really. Because I'm sure there was some wild shit going off the field with them motherfuckers. Aaron Hernandez, it's largely believed that he murdered three people. One of them, the dude didn't die. What was his first name? Bradley, the dude that he shot. Like whatever. But you have a dude that shot somebody, killed himself, unfortunately. I'm gonna say unfortunately.
Led by the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Right, and they're led by a preacher. Like, you don't get better than that. Like,
no, you really don't. That team was so full of just different characters, and it played to them perfectly for them to be able to win that national title. But yeah, I don't think there's any question that the 01 Miami Hurricanes are just unequivocally the best college football team ever assembled.
Not even now. Before we get off the show, what about LSU the year with Joe? I mean, they had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase,
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That might have been maybe on par for offensive input, but yeah. I don't think LSU's defense had anything on the 01 Miami Hurricanes. Oh my God. We're forgetting Ray fucking Lewis.
He wasn't on that Miami team, was he?
I believe he was.
No, I think he.
He was before, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Because I was like, nah, because if Ray
You're right,
Lewis
he
was
on
that team.
He was, no, he was definitely before because Ray Lewis was on the 2000 Ravens. My bad. It's just there's so many players that Miami has had. So
Kellen Winslow was on that team, but Jeremy Shockey was a starting tight end.
Jesus Christ, that's such a hellacious tight end group.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, that dude, like look at the backfield. You have Clinton Portis and Willis McGahee. You have Andre John, like a good amount of these dudes. Jeremy Shockey, probably the best tight. He was, out there with Tony Gonzalez. Like he was up there with the best tight ends in the league, top 3
for a couple years. Yeah.
Andre Johnson was Pepper. Shut the fuck up. Sorry guys, I was gonna put it on mute, but this cat's pissing me the fuck off.
Andre Johnson's a Hall of Fame receiver.
Right, and then you have
Ed Reed, Sean Taylor.
Yeah, like guys that are arguably the best, that have been at one point the best at their position. I think Ed Reed, he is in the Hall of Fame round, right? He's gotten his induction.
Yes, already. Absolutely, yes.
Like it's just, dude, that team would fucking enough. I would love to just go back in time, bro, to just be able to watch them play. I mean, because I remember the first time I even heard. Like when you're young, you don't really like. And I remember my dad was like, "Oh, Miami lost to Ohio State last night in the national championship." I didn't realize that there was no fucking way that Ohio State should have won that fucking game. Like that, Najee Davenport. Okay, look at their backfield: Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis, and Quadrine Hill. Like what?
That's 3 Pro Bowl with 1 Hall of Fame running back. That's insane. Clinton Portis, bona fide Pro Bowler. Frank Gore, Hall of Famer. And Willis McGahee, also a Pro Bowler. Like, that is insane. They have an argument for this, not even college football. They have an argument for the greatest team ever assembled in sports.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean,
I'm not sure about sports altogether, but college sports.
No, they definitely have an argument just for sports in general. Not saying that they could go beat an NFL team, but what I'm saying is for their respective what that team is supposed to be, you could argue it's the greatest team ever assembled.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Casey on that train of thought because, like, relative to their competition, like they're way more
for their competition. Absolutely, they should have blown they were blowing the doors off of everybody, and then just the fact that McGahee got hurt is the only reason they beat him.
Well, that's the only reason they didn't win 2 national championships in a row.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, when you talk about other great teams, I mean, shit, what other team has been that insanely stacked compared to that? I mean, what, 17-18 Warriors, maybe the Murderers Row Yankees?
I was going to say, the 17-18 Warriors for sure.
The Patriots were stacked.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't win the title.
They didn't win the title, but they were stacked.
They were stacked. Not to that level, though. Like, that was a 1-year clip. You know what I mean? We're talking about...
True.
So, I wouldn't even put them in there, to be honest. Like, I think they're by far one of the best teams in the history of the NFL.
They were lightning the ball stacked. Lightning the ball.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not built for sustained success.
Exactly. It's not the 17-18 Warriors. It's not the Dream Team. It's not the Redeem Team. If we're talking about just, they're not in that realm just for the conversation of greatest teams ever assembled. You know what I mean?
Right.
Before we close the show, yeah, they're up there, but the Dream Team relative to their competition is hands fucking down the greatest team ever.
Yes.
Let's just get that out there, but Miami up there too.
Is it better than the 2012 Olympic team?
No.
Yes.
I don't know, man. 2008 had a
2012,
good team.
it's true.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
2008 did too, but that because you got to argue, you got to talk about relative to prime as well. 2012 was peak LeBron, and he was just a because it was LeBron after his first title, and he was just different. Plus,
He was
they had
still on cloud 9 from that.
they had
Kobe was still elite.
They had Kobe, Durant, Harden,
Paul.
Wade,
Melo.
Chris Paul.
Melo,
For Christ's sakes, Anthony Davis was the 11th man off the bench.
Yeah. Well, now a lot of people they make the argument about the 1996 Dream Team might have actually been better. The only thing they were missing is Michael Jordan. But check out this front court for them: Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, and Shaq.
That's phenomenal. That's absolutely
I
phenomenal.
don't even think phenomenal describes it. Like who's like, oh my God, oh shit, here
But-
comes fucking Shaq. I'd bring Shaq off the bench. Let him wear everybody's
But
ass out.
can you call yourselves the greatest team of that if you didn't have Michael Jordan? Like they would have been better with Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like obviously
That's
they were
fair.
still the best players in the world, so they won the gold medal. But it's like even without LeBron in 2012, they probably win the gold medal. But does that make them a better team? No, they would. They're still much better with LeBron.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because the whole argument we started was stacked teams. So for sure, I get what you're saying.
So I say we close out on that note, boys. It's been another great show. We've been doing this for another half hour, an hour and a half. I mean, like, subscribe, anything you guys can do. Follow us. You're a bunch of queers. Just follow the show. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We have the best takes in sports. We have the best knowledge in sports. No one else comes close to us. As DJ Khaled said, we the best.
Well, if you're going to go to Canada, don't forget to bring a towel.
Kermit the Frog here. Make sure you check us out when we take on the Buffalo Bills this Sunday. Don't listen to Taylor Swift.
Good night, Canada.